Papua New Guinea became the member of NDC in March 2019. Nationally determined contribution, or NDC, are the heart of the Paris Agreement and the achievement of these long-term goals. NDC are efforts by each country to reduce national emissions and adapt to the impact of climate change. NDC are national climate plans highlighting climate actions, including climate-related targets, policies and measures that governments aim to implement in response to climate change and as contribution to the global climate action. Under PNG NDC, PNG will be reporting on energy sector, affluent sector and the adaptation sector. As the national focal point, my role is to coordinate all development partners' support and all key national stakeholders in the process of developing PNG's enhanced NDC.
So there are two sectors that the mitigation chapter is covering. That's the energy sector and the AFOLU sector. So the AFOLU basically are acronyms representing agriculture, forestry and other land use. So those are the two sectors that are covered under mitigation contributions. We've chosen these sectors basically because they are the highest GHG emitters in PNG currently.
It has been a challenge in terms of data gaps, country-specific information in terms of gathering forestry emissions, the value, and this sort of information, it's very sensitive.
Yeah, the problem we had is the capacity of forest monitoring. So the country didn't have sufficient or reliable information of the forest to make the right decisions and produce the policy and measures for the managing sustainable management of forest.
In the adaptation chapter, we look at the rationale of why we want to include adaptation within the NDC report. So basically we are vulnerable, and so we want to tell the world that this is our story.
All under this adaptation chapter of the NDC, we have set prime goals for the country to help us get to that end in sight, to build a capacity to respond to climate change.
It's not just only a document. It's like a tool where the agriculture sector can use as a guide to develop sustainable agriculture development plans for agriculture developments, and at the same time it will help in environmental management as well.
So our roads today cannot withstand the climate change impacts, the increase in rainfall, the long periods of droughts. All these climate change impacts are already causing greater damages to our infrastructure.
The government has to do its part, the international community has to do part, the policy makers have to do their part in achieving that goal.
Our role in terms of the NDC is the alignment process. So the NDC is like a global commitment that we have done. So taking the cue from the global commitments, how we customize it or localize it into our development plans and policies. And then we establish, let's say, investments, and we tie it to the policies and the plans responding to the global agenda.
Well, so the approach, it's based on national circumstances, and in order to do that, it's important that we're undertaking the current exercise that we're doing to consult widely and to understand where we are in order to set targets to determine where we want to get to in the future in terms of climate change.
Just been proud of the process here, proud of the sub-technical working group members. They are all nationals. The sector leads are from the office itself, and we are proud to say that the young team have driven this whole process, and we hope to see it right through the implementation.
Our biggest challenge was global pandemic on COVID-19, but now I'm grateful as the national focal point that PNG has submitted its NDC and its NDC implementation plan to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. I want to thank all development partners who have supported this process, and also I want to extend my thank you to all national key stakeholders who have contributed to this process as well. Lastly, I want to thank my NDC technical working committees for their excellent effort and support in delivering PNG's NDC.